nice explosion.
But before the explosion can take place, Gerard and his team are back out on location, planning how and where the explosion will occur that night. Gerard has to be sure that actor Don Shanks has enough time to crawl away from the explosives before they go off. Then that night, Shanks is back out in the Myers costume. Explosives are set, and cameras are locked off for one of the most dangerous scenes in the movie. Now, let's look at how Michael Myers makes his amazing escape that allows him to seek revenge in Halloween 5.
Do it. Stand back.
Returning in Halloween 5 is Danielle Harris as Michael Myers' niece Jamie, who Myers unsuccessfully tried to kill in Halloween 4. Unfortunately for Jamie, things haven't changed.
Michael Myers terrorizes me by chasing me into a field, my boyfriend getting hit by a car, running through a pine forest, running through a regular forest, and then getting hit by fireballs almost because when the car goes into a tree. And the biggest one is in the laundry chute, and just being locked and me getting my leg cut open by a knife going into the laundry chute.
I didn't know she was going to be such a gift to the production and to the film. It was a revelation for me to work with that young little girl, to push her, to let her take her flight, and she takes the risk, is to see a bird starting to fly over. It's magnificent. She's a joy. She's an incredible actress. She will be a star, and she's a star today.
In this scene, Dominique, Danielle, and young Jeffrey Landman rehearse and discuss the upcoming scene in which Jamie is trying to find her friend Tina. When the time comes for the actual filming, both young actors perform like old pros.
I gotta find Tina! You don't even know where she is! But I do.
Michael Myers, meanwhile, has found his latest victim in the form of a police officer. Donald Shanks once again works through the steps as Myers punches his hand through a car window and hits the police officer, played by Fenton Quinn.
Action. 1, 2, 3. And cut.
Fenton Quinn is then ushered off to makeup with makeup artist Greg Nicotero.
So what happens now is this is the reaction where he comes back up into frame and there's glass sticking out of his face and blood and all kinds of stuff like that. So what we're doing is we're doing a jump cut where we cut from the actual hit to his head coming back into frame, and we see all this goo and blood and broken glass and fun things like that.
After the cuts are applied to Fenton, fake glass is then glued onto the cuts to represent the broken window.
This is the final stage of the makeup, and what Mark and I are doing is we're applying what's called gel blood. And what it is it's like a thicker, coagulated, scabby type blood. It doesn't run so much. It looks more like it helps make the cuts look deeper. And that's the last stage before we go on set.
Once director Gerard approves the makeup job, Fenton climbs back into the car for the final shot.
And cut.
And with that scene completed, Michael Myers can add yet another person to the growing body count.
Eddie, can you read me?
However, killing cops is nothing new to Myers. In Halloween 5, Jamie's friend Tina, played by Wendy Kaplan, is just starting to realize that Michael Myers is no ordinary person.
The thing about me is that I never realize when I'm with the shape until the very end. I never even know, like, that anything's wrong. It's always like, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden it's like, bang, all this stuff happens. And, like, it's like one after the other, and then, you know, and so there's no time finally for her to think about it. There's no time for her to plan. She just has to do whatever's in her heart.
To film Tina discovering the dead police officers, a special camera known as a Steadicam is used. A Steadicam is a camera that is attached with an arm to the camera operator's waist and allows the director to cover some scenes that would be impossible using the standard camera and dolly shots. With an assistant by his side using a remote-controlled device to adjust focus as the scene is being filmed, the Steadicam operator can run right alongside the actors and create a sense of intimacy while still creating a shot that keeps the actors in frame. Take a look at how the Steadicam creates a sense of being there for the viewer in this scary scene from Halloween 5.
Oh, God! Help me! Please, help me! Help me!
The terror continues for Tina as Michael Myers prepares to make her his next victim. In this scene, Myers attempts to run Tina over with a speeding car. Wendy Kaplan elected to do the scene herself, despite the obvious dangers. But it's not really Tina that Myers is after, but his young niece, Jamie, who he soon turns his attentions to once again. Director Gerard carefully plots out the scene with his young star so that she'll know just what is required for this particular scene. And Gerard knows that with the right camera angles, Jamie's terror can create an equally frightening moment for audiences.
It is the most atrocious situation to be in when one is a little child, such a vulnerable little girl, against a massive, amazing, strong man who nothing stops. When he has an idea in his mind, he just goes straight. I sympathize with this little girl. I had tears when I looked at her being chased.
Leave her! No. Here! Here!
With each Halloween film, audiences begin to learn more and more about the complex character of Michael Myers, and Halloween 5 is no exception. It's here, in Michael Myers' house, that Jamie begins to discover the true horror that her uncle is responsible for. And it is also in this scene that Jamie confronts her uncle face to face and gets a first-hand look at the evil under that famous mask.
Uncle? Boogeyman? Let me see.
Michael Myers, needless to say, has not made his reputation on being a sympathetic character. It has been Myers' unrelenting series of killings that have kept police in Haddonfield extremely busy these last 10 years. However, the Halloween series, unlike many other contemporary horror films, is not out to shock audiences with a lot of blood and gore.
You have to have some blood and some gore, but is not really, you see, they go to some films to see how he kills. In Halloween is the stalking of the victim. And you don't know when it's going to happen, and might happen, might not happen. That's really the thrill. The actual kill is not. I mean, it's just a few seconds and it goes.
I believe, I mean, already on the script, is going to sympathize so much with the characters, is going to be not horrified because it is not a film of gore, it is a film of suspense. We let the action play. And when we look through the camera, when we see what happens, and so on, we ourselves are outraged, are afraid, are you know, in a very high tense adrenaline pumping into our bodies.
Now, let's take a rare look behind the scenes to see how one of these famous killings are put together. In this scene, Myers is stalking a young couple making love inside a barn. After the traditional close-ups of the actors are completed, the sequence begins by filming the character meeting her untimely death. Then the same shot is repeated with a little blood thrown in from off-camera.
Action.
Next, Myers, complete with mask on, is filmed committing this gruesome act. Finally, a few eerie shots are filmed with some threatening shadows before being edited together for another frightening Michael Myers murder.